Hello friends, let us today discuss about fuels for IC engines. So the today's topic is fuels for IC engines. In today's lecture we will be discussing about the desirable properties of a good IC engine fuel and some examples of IC engines fuel. So basically, why it is necessary to understand fuels with respect to IC engine? It is because the properties and the characteristics of the fuel is going to influence on so many things like design of engine, power output, engine efficiency, fuel consumption, reliability of the engine, durability of the engine operation, and so on. So if the fuel is going to affect so much things, then obviously it is very essential that we should understand properly a fuel before it is being utilized for an engine. And that is where the need for studying the fuels of IC engines comes into picture. When we talk of conventional fuels, we know that the conventional fuels are generally categorized into solid fuels, we have liquid fuels and gaseous fuels. So we have all this particular varieties of fuel. For example, if you take solid fuels, we have generally the wood or coal or charcoal, etc. So many solid fuels are available. Similarly, if you go for liquid fuels, then we have our conventional petroleum fuel like gasoline or petrol, what we call as, then we have diesel, then we have kerosene, we have alcohols, etc. So many are there. So we have so many liquid fuels available. Similarly, some gaseous fuels are also available. So what are these gaseous fuels? We have what we call as producer gas, we have LPG, liquid petroleum gas, then we have coke oven gas, we have blast furnace gas, and so on. So we can see over here there are different fuels available in all the categories. Then the question arises, which fuel is suitable for an engine? Obviously you can see the wood or coal or charcoal, the handling becomes a very big issue to handle this particular solids. To store this particular fuels on the vehicle, it becomes a big issue. Then after burning this particular solid fuels, we know that most of the time we get to a huge amount of ash handling becomes a big issue. So from all this point of view, we can see that solid fuel is not a very good fuel for engine application, and therefore it is not used. Coming to the last type, that is gaseous, we can see we can have producer gas, we have LPG gas, coke oven gas, blast furnace gas, etc. So many we have written over here. So all these are gaseous, and we know that whenever we say gas, the volume is huge. So again, storing and handling becomes an issue because being a fuel, they are inflammable. Even hydrogen we can think of a gaseous fuel. So any of this particular fuel, when we take off, the safety becomes a big issue, storage and handling becomes a big issue, and moreover the energy density of this particular gaseous fuels will be very less, because they are huge volume, and even with a very large volume we will get very less energy out of it. So from that point of view also, the gaseous fuels are comparatively less preferable, even though they are more preferable than solid fuels. Now coming to the last type, what we have is the third type. What we have is liquid fuels, and we can see that the liquid fuels, the being in a liquid form, their volume is lesser compared to gas, and moreover their energy density is higher. Therefore, handling and storing also becomes comparatively easy to that of a gaseous, because in the gaseous fuels the leakage becomes a big issue, being a gas, and just have some opening over there and the gas will be escaping out, which will not be the case of a liquid fuel. So the storing and handling becomes comparatively easy, the energy density is higher, and obviously some problems are there, which we will be discussing further, but comparatively out of this particular three options, we can see that the liquid fuels are more suitable, and that is why throughout the years generally the engines have been developed for the liquid fuels like gasoline, diesel, or kerosene, or any other biodiesel, or some conventional and non-conventional fuels are there. So when we are talking of this, we can see that the liquid fuels are comparatively more suitable when compared to that of solid and gaseous. Now next step in choosing a fuel for an engine will be something like we should have some desirable properties. So what are the desirable properties we should understand first when we say a fuel is supposed to be used for a IC engine. So let us move on to desirable properties of a good IC engine fuel. So we are going to discuss about what properties are expected for a fuel to have when it is supposed to be used for IC engine application. Obviously, the first requirement is high energy density. High energy density. So what is this high energy density? That is per unit volume or mass, whatever we are talking of, kilojoules per kg. So here it is written per kg, so per unit mass it should have more energy coming out of it. So that is a basic requirement. So even if you use a small amount of fuel, they should produce a large energy, and therefore the reliability of the engine will be more. We can run the engine without stopping for more time. So that becomes a very critical issue, because it is not always possible that every time we are going to refueling again and again. So in order to avoid that, the energy density of the fuel, whatever we have chosen, should be very high. So that is the first and a very important property required for a IC engine fuel. That is where we say solar energy. When we talk of, many times you might have heard about solar energy, the problem becomes that the solar energy, whatever energy is getting, it becomes intermittent, and whenever solar energy is, that is sunshine is not available, sun rays are not available, then it cannot be used, then it has to be stored. Even battery, again, it is a big problem, because continuously if you use the battery, then it is going to be getting discharged, and once it is getting discharged, then it has to be recharged. So the issue becomes very important, and therefore if you want to use a particular fuel for a long period of time, then once it is being charged, it should be able to use for a long period of time or long journey. So that is where the importance of energy density coming into picture, and the energy density required is high. Now second important quality required is good combustion qualities. Now, what is this good combustion qualities? So basically, we know that when we talk of combustion, we have something like volatility, then we have the ignition delay of the fuel or ignition lag of the fuel, then the self-ignition temperature of the fuel, its tendency to knock. So all this comes under the combustion qualities. So as per the requirement of the engine, we should have this particular properties with that particular fuel, and the most important being knock. So here we will be generally ensuring that the fuel should not be going for knocking if that particular fuel is going to be used in a particular engine. So that becomes a very important property. Otherwise, we cannot use that particular. So it will not be a suitable fuel for that particular application. So the quality of the combustion quality of the fuels has to be good. So that is again a very important quality which we should take care before choosing a fuel for engine. The third important point is that it should give high thermal efficiency. That is, it should be able to burn in the engine in such a manner that we should be able to produce high thermal efficiency out of that engine. So the properties, the qualities of the fuel, and the combustion chamber, the hardware, whatever we are going to use for it, should be designed in such a manner that or it should be suitable, it should be able to cope up with the hardware. So in such a manner that it should be able to burn with a very high efficiency, or in other words, we should get higher thermal efficiency. So when we say higher thermal efficiency, it means we are able to convert more energy into work. So obviously that is a requirement, because that is why we are using a fuel. So why we are using a fuel? We are using a fuel because we want to convert the energy in the fuel into work. And if that conversion efficiency is higher, then it is what we call as high thermal efficiency with respect to engines. Next quality required is low toxicity. Low toxicity. That is, it should be less harmful when it is being used. So it should not happen that the person who is handling the fuel is affected by that particular fuel. So it should not be poison. It should not be poisonous. It should not have some effect on health of the persons who are handling. So that has to be again very important, because otherwise, though it may be of very high energy density, etc. For example, if you take carbon monoxide, it is a very poisonous gas, but it can be used as a fuel also. So if you try to use a carbon monoxide as a fuel, then it becomes very dangerous, because the exposure of this particular carbon dioxide for some time for human being may lead to even death. So that is not then becomes a very big issue, and therefore the fuel whatever we have chosen should not be toxic, it should not be poisonous. That is again an important quality required. Next is it should produce very less pollution, because nowadays we know we are living in an era where we are always discussing about the global warming and so on. A lot of focus is nowadays being given on how much pollution it is being generated. So that is where we have stringent norms coming into picture. We are talking of BS4, BS6, etc. So these are all related to emissions or the pollution what the fuel is going to generate when it is used in an engine application. So that is how when we choose a particular fuel, we have to ensure that it is going to produce less emissions, less pollution. Otherwise, it will not be able to pass the pollution norms, and it will not be a useful fuel. Even though it may be a viable fuel, but it will not be getting permissions to be used that particular fuel in a practical applications, because it may be producing more pollution or exhaust gases. So that is again an important thing. Next important thing is either ease of transportation and storage. So here we are talking of it should be easily transportable from one place to another. If a fuel is there, but if it cannot be transported from where it is available to wherever it is not available, then it will not be of much use, because if a fuel is not able to transport to the rural areas, then it cannot be used in a rural areas. So it should be easily transportable. So preferably we know that the liquid, we have the containers, and we can put the liquid in a container and it can be easily transportable. So that is where the choice of the liquid fuel becomes more advantageous with respect to the solid and gaseous fuel, because they are easy transportable comparatively. Moreover, it can be stored in a bigger tanks or cylinders, whatever are constructed for its storage, so it should be easily storable. So the storage becomes also is issue. Obviously the safety has to be taken care, that it is not going to be inflammable, so when it is being transported and stored. Next is the compatibility with the engine hardware is a big issue. Compatibility to the engine hardware, that means whatever the fuel has been preferred, chosen for the application, should be such that it should not harm the engine. It should be suitable for that particular engine what you are going to choose for. So that means, for example, if you choose a fuel, petrol fuel, it is not suitable for diesel engine, and if you have a diesel fuel, then it is not good fuel for a petrol engine. So we say the compatibility is not there. So here we mean to say that the properties of the fuel should be such that it is suitable for that particular type of engine, because we have so many types of engines. Then accordingly every engine has their own requirements, and the properties of the fuel should be suitable for that particular engine. That is where our compatibility of the engine hardware comes into picture. Then next is safety, that is we have good fire safety. Now why this why this property is coming into picture? Because we know that it is a fuel is an inflammable thing, and when we are handling an inflammable thing, and by chance or by mistake if it is getting ignited, then it may lead to explosion. So we have so many news coming in the newspapers. We might have heard about explosion of the hydrogen if it is used as a fuel. So that becomes an issue. So if it cannot be stored safely, or it is going to easily catch fire, then it becomes very dangerous to use that particular fuel, and the fire safety becomes a very big issue whenever we. So it should not easily catch fire, even though because when it is being used, it may be exposed to so many things, and even you might have some seen at the petrol pumps that you are not supposed to use mobiles at the petrol pumps. Why? Because of the radiations from the mobiles, the fuel over there may catch fire. So that such risks are there, and that is where the fire safety is coming into picture. So fire safety becomes a very big issue again, because human beings are supposed to be transported from the vehicle, and if that particular fuel is supposed to be used for a particular vehicle, then we are putting the life of the passengers at risk, and therefore it is not preferred to use fuel which are easily inflammable. So the fire safety becomes again a desirable property for a good IC engine fuel. Next is low deposition forming tendency. Low deposition forming tendency. So what is this low deposition forming tendency? Here we mean to say that whenever that particular fuel is used, generally with respect to the petroleum fuels or liquid fuels, the probability that some gummy deposits are being produced at the end of combustion. Like we know that whenever we distill our crude petroleum, we have the tar. So that is one type of material or substance which is very sticky in nature. Similarly, when we burn up a fuel, some products are being produced in the combustion chamber which are very sticky or gummy. And if such sticky gummy products are being produced when that particular fuel is used, then these gummy products are going to deposit on the cylinder or in the combustion chamber, and they are going to create problem. So that is where what we mean to say here is the probability of forming gummy deposits should not be higher or should not be there. That is what is required for engine, because it is not always possible that after some time we are going to dismantle the engine and clean the engine. It is not possible always. So as far as possible, the low deposition forming tendency is what is required for with respect to desirable properties for good ICE engine fuel. Then we have next, obviously, is a very important again, that is low cost. The cost should be affordable. It should not happen that a very good fuel is there but its cost is not affordable. Then what is the use of that particular fuel if it is not affordable? For example, some fuels are there which are used for space application, but if the same fuel is supposed to be used for a normal application, it is not affordable. So from our normal application point of view, the vehicle or automobile application point of view, this particular fuels are considered to be not suitable, because even though they are very good fuels, they may not be suitable for this because the cost is very high, and from automobile application point of view, they are not suitable. So they should be of cheaper or low cost. So that is another characteristics required. Next is ease of mixing with air. Why? We know that whenever we burn a fuel, the fuel is consisting of hydrocarbons, and when this particular hydrocarbon is going to burn, basically they are oxidation reactions, and the oxidation is coming from air. So before burning the fuel, we have to ensure that a very good mixture is being produced of the fuel and the air, and then only this particular fuel can be burned properly. And therefore the ease of mixing of the air the ease of mixing of the fuel with the air becomes a very important property for burning that fuel in a proper manner. Otherwise, if it is not able to burn properly with the air, then obviously some fuel will be remain unburned, and unburned hydrocarbon will come out of the combustion chamber, and then it becomes an issue, because if the unburned hydrocarbons are coming beyond a certain limit, it is our norms are not going to allow that particular engine to come into market. So that becomes again a very big issue, because unless the fuel is able to mix properly with the air, it will not be able to burn completely. So it's mixing with the air again is an important property, required property for fuel to be ensured that it is going to be used for that particular engine. Then we have the next property to be low latent heat of evaporation or vaporization. So that means we know that we have to burn the fuel, and we have what we is a liquid fuel, and before burning that particular fuel, it has to be converted into vapor, and then only it can mix properly with the air and burn. So in order to burn that fuel, it has to be first converted into its vapor. So that is where the latent heat of vaporization is coming into picture. So if the latent heat of vaporization is less, then only easily it will be that liquid fuel will be able to get converted into vapor and mix with air and then burn. So therefore if the latent heat is less, then it is a very good quality, because easily it will be converted into vapor and easily it is going to burn. But if it is higher, then the probability of the burning is going to become lesser, because if we are unable to provide that much latent heat, then it will not be able to burn. or it is going to partially burn. So from that point of view, the low latent heat of vaporization is a desirable property for a good IC engine fuel. So these are some of the properties which are considered to be required for IC engine fuel. That is, they should have a very high energy density, they should have good combustion qualities like anti-knock quality. Then after burning that particular fuel, the thermal efficiency should be higher. They should be less poisonous or toxic to the atmosphere as well as the human beings. The pollution should be lesser after burning. That is, after burning, whatever the products of combustion are being produced, they should not be less toxic gases in it. Then the transportation and the storage should be comparatively easier. Then they should less inflammable, that is, fire safety has to be ensured. Then the deposit forming tendencies should be less, they should be cheaper, they should be able to mix with air properly, and the latent heat of vaporization should be less. So these are some of the qualities required for fuel to have for it to be considered as a good IC engine fuels. Now moving ahead, let us then discuss what are some of the fuels that can be used for IC engines. So some of the fuels suitable for IC engines. So we know generally the conventionally we are using so many petroleum based fuels. So and all these are hydrocarbons. So hydrocarbons are a good choice, preferably in liquid form. So it may be petrol, it may be diesel, it may be kerosene, or any of this hydrocarbon according to the requirement of a particular type of engine is considered to be a good choice. Then second is alcohols. So we know that alcohols like methanol and ethanol they are being produced as a byproducts of sugarcane industry and so many other industries. So this alcohols again can be a very good choice, because basically these alcohols have in their chemical composition there are some oxygen molecules, and this oxygen molecule itself is going to help in the burning. So from that point of view, alcohols are also considered, so preferably the methanols and ethanols, they are considered to be very good IC engine fuels. Then we have the petroleum gases, so like LPG, that is liquid petroleum gas. Or we have compressed natural gas, CNG. So these are coming out, that is whatever we are digging out the crude oil, from that it is being produced, and we know that huge amount of fuel is there, though it is going to end someday being digged out from the crust of the earth. And since they are available in abundant, and technology has been sufficiently developed for this particular fuels, and the viability has been proven, and therefore LPG or CNG are also suitable, though they are gases and their energy density is comparatively lesser, but they have proven as a good fuels, and their technology has been developed. And since these are considered to be some of the alternatives fuel to the petrol and diesels, so nowadays preferred lot times, that is the LPG and compressed natural gas. Basically, they have propane and butane as their main constituents, and which are in gaseous form, and that is where mixing with the air becomes easy, and using them becomes easy, even though being in gaseous form sometimes the storage and all handling becomes difficult. But in case of LPG, we are compressing this particular gases to a level where they are being converted into liquid, and therefore the handling and storage becomes comparatively easy. Then we have what we call as a natural gas. So the natural gas is generally consisting of methane, so that is also a very good option. And coming next is hydrogen. It is a very good fuel. Hydrogen is also considered as a very good fuel, so that is also a good option for IC engine, because the inflammability limit of this particular hydrogen is very larger. That means even a very lean mixture or a rich mixture is going to burn. That means even very lean mixtures will be easily able to burn in the case of IC engine. But obviously the fire hazard and all this has to be taken care before use of this particular hydrogen in engine application. That is where a lot of constraints are there to use hydrogen as a fuel, but these are suitable for IC engine applications. So summarizing, we have different options for fuels, engine fuels, like solid, liquids and gases. Solids and gases have some problem, and therefore liquids are more preferred. Second preference is going to gaseous fuels, and the last preference is coming to solid. So solids are generally not preferred for IC engine. Most preferred is liquid, and secondly preferred is gaseous. There are so many desirable qualities required for a IC engine fuel, like energy density, combustion qualities, thermal efficiency, toxicity, less pollution, ease of transportation, safety, then less deposition, cost, etc. And all these particular desirable qualities has to be ensured before choosing a particular fuel for a particular application. And mostly we prefer to use petroleum fuels, like which are generally hydrocarbons, mixture of hydrocarbons, and out of it we know that petrol is used for SI engine as a SI engine fuel, best SI engine fuel, and diesel is considered to be best CI engine fuel. Moreover, alcohols are also good options, which are being produced as a byproduct of sugar industry. Then we have some gases coming out of the petroleum industry, that is in the form of LPG and CNG. We have them. Then we have hydrogen also as a option. So these are something about fuels for IC engines. Thank you.